Hello kiddies and welcome to another thrilling episode of Spurt Weekly, the new show that bungs a thermometer right up the arse crack of technology to see what sort of condition it's in. And yes, as usual, I know that intro makes no sense whatsoever, feel free to hate on me in the comments. But anyway, there's loads of tasty tech news to bang on about this week, so let's not just stand around here playing with ourselves, let's bash on with it. Spurt Weekly! Now the big tech news of the week of course kicked off on Tuesday with the big OnePlus launch, where we saw the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro pop out of their metaphorical womb. These shiny new flagships are more expensive than previous generations, starting at 600 quid for the standard model and then rising to £800 and above for that tasty Pro handset. The OnePlus 8 Pro does finally deliver on some of those premium features that were strangely missing from previous incarnations though, like an official IP rating and super fast wireless charging. The kind of stuff that'll get super nerd smartphone lovers dripping from every orifice. And you also get a better camera setup and some proper clever display shenanigans as well to differentiate it from the standard OnePlus 8 model. I've done full unboxings of both of those handsets, you can see my comparison between the two to see what the difference is, and I've also done a full review on that standard OnePlus 8, so go check those bad boys out for all you need to know. Of course, the day after that, Apple then tried to steal a bit of that OnePlus thunder by guffing out a new iPhone SE after 4 long years. The original SE was undoubtedly the best iPhone that Apple had made in ages, offering something that it isn't exactly renowned for: value for money. While the first SE basically reused the chassis from the old school dinky iPhones, this new handset sports the same glass and aluminium shell as the iPhone 8, with that positively dinky 4.7-inch HD screen, so it's even more compact than the Pixel 3a. Packed inside is the same fresh Apple A13 chipset found in the iPhone 11 handset, so it's definitely a proper pocket rocket. And impressively for that price point, the iPhone SE 2020 is also fully IP67 water and dust resistant, and it sports wireless charging as well, two features that you definitely don't see at this sort of price point very often at all. The camera is just a single lens 12 megapixel snapper, which hopefully will be an improvement over recent efforts like the iPhone XR, only time will really tell there. But at the very least you can shoot 4K video at up to 60 frames per second, which again ain't too common at this cost. The base £419 model of the iPhone SE 2020 serves up 64 gigs of non-expandable storage. That price quickly rises to around 569 quid if you want the maximum 256 gigs of storage. At which point of course you can grab yourself an Android smartphone with a Snapdragon 865 chipset, packing full 5G smarts, so you gotta wonder, is it really worth it at that point? But still, as long as you're happy with 64 gigs of storage, then the iPhone SE 2020 certainly seems to be a solid value for money handset if you want something that's compact but also quite powerful. As long as the battery life isn't rubbish and you can put up with that iOS shenanigans, then it might be a solid all-round handset, only time will tell. I'm hoping to bring you guys a full review soon-ish. And if you are interested, you'll be able to grab the new iPhone SE from April 24th here in the UK in either black, white or this snazzy red finish. So that right there is all of the big tech news from the week. Now it's time for the part of the show that'll empty your bowels faster than an undercooked chipolata. It's viewer comments. Whoop whoop. Viewer comments. So you'll never guess what, I've once again had an absolute shagload of comments saying where the fuckety shit is the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II. Very good question, as always. I'm as clueless as you fine folk, unfortunately. Hopefully one day I'll be able to say, hey, here's the Xperia 1 Mark II forming a large rectangular wedge inside of my trousers, but until then, who even frickin' knows? Matt says, Chris, can you give a shout out to Auckland, New Zealand on your live stream next week? Hello, my Auckland homies. I didn't manage to do it at the live stream, which I shot on Tuesday, unfortunately, but I'm doing it now, so hopefully that will suffice. I have actually visited Auckland once before, about a decade and a half ago. Rented a car at the airport. Bastard broke down about 10 minutes down the road, so that was good fun. Spent about 3 hours sat there looking at sheep, waiting for the island's one auto DIY guy to come in and give it a good kicking and sort it out. Great times. Jacob, our man in Wuhan, is back with an update. Hello Jacob, he says, cheers mate, I finally left home for the barbershop this week after quarantining in Wuhan for 2.5 months. Ouchies, yeah, no, we're on week 4 here. And already I think I've basically drunk the entire booze supply of the UK dry. So yeah, but yeah, 2.5 months without a haircut, I bet that was a bit of a state. Oh, you f***s who slag off my shiny, baldy palate. Bet you're not laughing now, are you? Sat there with your improvised mullets. You probably are still bloody laughing anyway, aren't you? Pete says, thanks to Spurt, I remembered it must be Friday. It's all just a blur these days. Yeah, no, tell me about it, mate. I used to think that those socks that have the days of the week printed on them were a complete waste of time and an absolute joke, but I can honestly see the point in them now. Adrian says, so I buy the Moto G8 Power and already they've made a light version. Yeah, unfortunately so. I can't keep up with this. Has Moto got OCD or something? Yeah, it's absolutely mental. It's literally, what, like a month or 2 months after they launched the G8 Power, here comes the light, which is basically what I expected the G8 Power to be in the first place. Under 200 quid, standard HD screen, hopefully strong battery life. So I'm really sorry about that. Obviously, I had absolutely no way of knowing, but just remind me of HTC back in the day. We used to out a new phone literally every week. It's like the Mozart, here's the Symphony, here's the diarrhea. Okay, I don't think there was an HTC diarrhea. I'd have to check Wikipedia on that one though. Grimmy74 UK says, Chris, what budget phone would you recommend for music listening? I need a fairly loud headphone output and some reasonable speakers. Well, you're fairly well sorted actually as far as the budget blows go these days. The likes of the Moto G8 Plus and a couple of the other Motos, the Oppo A9 2020, they sport dual stereo speakers, surprisingly powerful, definitely good enough to prop up somewhere and just watch a bit of Netflix, listen to some music, do whatever you want while you're doing a bit of cooking or whatever. Both got headphone jacks, full Dolby support and everything, so yeah, definitely check those bad boys out. Our next comment from the True Lord Septimus is that some HP Lovecraft? I've just got pictures of like Cthulhu tentacles all in your face and stuff. Yeet, love your vids. Not sure why though, they're a bit shit. Keep up the quality content. I mean, I don't think that even needs a response, to be honest. Next up, Ariel says, love your content. Can you please sometimes review some preferred apps as well? I have done that in the past, certainly my roundup of the best Android launchers, customization apps, things like that. I can certainly try and do more app content for you fine folk as well. It's just, there's so much friggin' hardware floating around. There's a new phone launching every 5 seconds, usually a Motorola phone, naturally. But I will try and do a bit more of that, certainly over summer when things calm down a little bit, touch wood. The next comment is from Benjamin Butthurt. I'm not making this up. These names are truly next level shit today. He says, is the Zenfone 6 a good buy these days? Certainly, if you can still find it, then it's a fantastic little phone. Absolutely love it. Great battery life, camera, flip camera. Obviously, it's not just a gimmick, it is actually a great camera as well. Gorgeous screen, nice stock-ish version of Android with some nifty Zen UI features thrown on top. Fantastic all-round handset. Definitely one of my biggest shock surprises of 2019. And Asus has also promised, I believe it was 2 years of OS updates and 3 years of security patches and stuff as well, similar to like with the stock Android One smartphones and everything as well. So at least you're sort of covered for the foreseeable. Mike B says, I loved your work on Biker Grove. If only. I would be some frickin' rich kid sat on my ass, I'd probably be an Instagrammer or something. That'd be lovely. Although of course I am therefore assuming that all of the cast of Biker Grove turned out like Ant and Dec, basically just absolutely loaded, whereas I'm guessing probably most of them work in Tesco's or something now. Next up, Altide LOL videos. Sorry, I probably absolutely murdered that pronunciation. Says, my birthday is on Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday just gone. Happy birthday. Hope you had a good one. And I wanted to buy a phone for maximum €500, possibly an Oppo Reno 2 or the Xiaomi Mi Note 10. I want a good camera and nice design. I mean, for that sort of price point, if the camera is your priority, I'd always point people towards like the Pixel 3a, for instance. That's got a hot camera, absolutely fantastic design. It's all right. It's, it looks like a Pixel phone. It's nothing particularly stunning. Obviously got quite chunky bezels, but it is compact. So if that's a priority, then that's always great. Otherwise, yeah, I like both the Reno 2 and the Xiaomi Mi Note 10 as well. Both great handsets. Solid camera tech in there, certainly for your everyday photo shenanigans. I also really like the Huawei Nova 5T. You got the likes of the Realme X2 Pro as well, which I haven't actually personally played around with, but apparently is very, very good indeed. One of these days I'll get around to get one of those bad boys in. Okay, so last week somebody called me a weeb in a comment, and here's Warmate Charles with an explanation. So weeb from Weibo is apparently white folk who are trying to act all Japanese, or by extension Asian. So basically they're pretty much mocking your love for anime. Great, thanks for the explanation, Charlie boy. I feel much better now. And I'm already starting to feel the alcohol cravings kicking in, so I think we'll just end it there. Now, next week, there are no new phone launches, certainly that I am aware of at the very least, so hopefully it should be a fairly quiet week. I can catch up a little bit, give you some more stunning OnePlus content. I'm also hoping to do a full review of this bad boy right here, the Realme X50 5G. Should be coming to the UK and Europe soon for €599, so hopefully around £500, although we'll probably get dicked on the import tax and everything as usual. usual. Strong competitor to the standard OnePlus 8 with the Snapdragon 865 chipset in there, full 5G support, and some pretty nifty camera tech and other features as well, so stay tuned for more on that. So stay safe, kiddies, have yourselves a lovely weekend. Thank you very much to everyone who joined me on Tuesday for the live chat. It was brilliant to have a beer with you fine folk and have a bit of a chin wag. Didn't realise that final one was 9%, so things were going a little bit fuzzy towards the end, although I had been banging on for over 2 hours by that point, so it was probably a good idea to call an end to it at that point. But yeah, no, thank you very much. Please do bung more comments down below. I'll try and smash through as many of those as possible next week. Cheers, love you.